Good morning, everyone. Jean Monnet said many, many decades ago that people change out of necessity, but only see necessity in crisis. So I'll tell you a little bit about myself. My name's Mark George. I own Accord Capital Management, which is a local investment firm here in Ketchum. And for the last 24 years, I've been involved in the public markets. I've been an investment manager, much of that on the traditional side, which means, if you go back in time, not to dig up anything painful for all of us, but other than the crash of '87, I've managed my business through every major debacle that we've seen in the markets, from as simple as the flash crash, which lasted for a day as a result of tech, the Bush-Gore debacle in the presidential process back then, how that affected the markets, and of course the meltdown, the financial meltdown in 2008. All of those have one thing in common as I look back in my hindsight, and that's short-sightedness. Wall Street is typically short-sighted. That's not resilient. Wall Street makes short-term bets to line the pockets of those playing the game. Going through all of those experiences brought on an incredible amount of anxiety into my personal life as a sensitive individual. I remember waking up in the morning, and I survived them all, and I made all of my clients' money back after the 2008 crash. And so as I look back and pat myself on the back for that, I really ask myself, what does that mean? I made all my clients' money back. It wasn't very satisfying. It isn't very satisfying today, and certainly I'd prefer that to the latter. But it brought on an incredible amount of anxiety into my life. And I remember waking up in the morning being literally apprehensive about checking the S&P futures. Not that they could be down 20, 30 points for no good reason, but they might be up 20 or 30 points for no good reason. And I realized that I actually was developing symptoms of post-traumatic stress disorder from my own job and my own career. And I realized that I had found my crisis. So I decided to change. And I had had a friend pull me aside years before this and shake me up and say, Mark, you're the perfect age, the perfect experience. You need to come to our side of resilience. And boy, did I want to, but Wall Street's really sticky and my schedule was fantastic and I could ski on Baldy and I could make some good money. And so my culture was keeping me behind from doing my soul search, but I was experiencing soul loss from staying in that comfort zone, almost like an abusive relationship. It was comfortable, but it wasn't right, and it wasn't good for me, and I wasn't growing. So I created Your Conscious Portfolio. And some of the comments that Raul, I know, answered eloquently lead me to say, well, did I just throw another name into the mix? But it was with great thought, because to me, the definition of your conscious portfolio is not that I'm judging you right or wrong. It's what does your conscious want to support? Maybe you don't want to go all in because you're in that old relationship that's comfortable for you, but maybe you're feeling the need to change. So I have propositions for people in those positions where we can segue their money into resilient investments and not freak them out all at once and give them some sort of PTSD. I've created what I think and what the executive director of the Sierra Club coined so eloquently as my irresistible alternative for clients who want access to these markets. My conscious portfolio was liquid. It was really quick for me to discover that the vast majority of opportunities for people who want to be resilient are just incredibly high minimum investments. Private equity is the foundation to our capital markets, but it's exclusionary to 98% of the people who want to participate because you need to be an accredited investor, which they haven't modified the definition of that for many, many, many years. You need to be a high net worth. You need to have money that you can put aside and not worry about for maybe 5, 10 years, whatever the lockup periods are. And again, I'm not knocking it. I think it's a fantastic avenue. But 98% of the people out there get turned off. So what are some of the challenges? And again, something that's been brought up. There's a complete disarray of language in our industry. There's been a task force created about 1.5 years ago by the Bloomberg. Michael Bloomberg wrote an incredible executive summary on it. They believe within 5 years we'll have common language and common financial disclosures. Without the common disclosures, institutions and private individuals won't invest because they just don't know what they're investing in. That is also, like life, the mirror. It's our opportunity. We can define those right now. We can step up to the plate and recognize what's resilient to us and support it. I also believe our government is the best money, or is the best democracy money can buy. Campaign financing has been the evil that's destroyed the purity of our democracy. Campaign financing is all about money. We know that if we vote, we're not quite sure if our vote is going to matter. It's been diluted at the polls by campaign financing. So, to me, the modern source of energy in our culture is our money. We all have it to some varying degree, and we all have the right to vote. But if our vote is diluted, vote with your dollars. Directly support the companies that you believe in. Don't worry if the EPA is going to be here tomorrow or not. I worry, but don't worry so much that you feel powerless. You can support a water conservation company with a liquid equity investment or debt investment. You can do it. You have the power. So my clients are empowered through the creation and the management of these portfolios that I'm creating for them. They sit down with me and discuss their values, and I'm able to pull from the Conscious Portfolios Index and literally customize a liquid portfolio accessible to everyone that completely empowers their voice and their vote again. Thank you very much.